So this is outside of the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and has some information here outside and pictures. And right here is where we're at. Trying to stay out of, and of course, trying to avoid the shadow, but Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and Annie Oakley was a star in there. Also, Sitting Bull would appear in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. There is information about Annie Oakley, and Annie Oakley was a trick shooter. They say aim at a high mark and you will hit it. No, not the first time, nor the second time, and maybe not the third, but keep on aiming and keep on shooting, for only practice will make you perfect. Finally, you will hit the bullseye of success. Annie Oakley's motto. Oakley was not named for Annie Oakley, not exactly. The town had several names as it evolved from a railroad camp to a modern transportation and farming center. Blaisville, Carlisle, Cleveland, and then Gilmore. Finally, in 1886, entrepreneur D.D. Hogue organized a town company name, he said, in honor of his mother, Eliza Oakley Gardner Hogue. Still, it couldn't hurt that Annie Oakley was already becoming one of the most famous women in America. Annie's motto is the perfect sentiment for the town and the region. High ideals, hard work, and persistence, not to mention a touch of adventure and a love of the outdoors, have characterized Oakley and the people who call it home. So there is pictures of Annie Oakley, and there's a picture of Buffalo Bill when he was older. It's cool. So you can see Annie Oakley appearance in the Buffalo Bill, and then Buffalo Bill right there, and some of the cast of his Wild West shows labeled there, or appears there. The map of Kansas. Trying to avoid the shadow of the phone. Information about the Kansas Pacific Railroad. Here's a picture of a sod house, or a dugout house that in Sheridan, Kansas. That was taken in 1868. Legends are sometimes too good to be true, but Buffalo Bill was the real thing. He was born William Frederick Cody in a log cabin in Iowa in 1846, grew up on the plains of Kansas, and fought for the Union during the Civil War as a trooper with the 7th Kansas Cavalry. He earned his credentials as a frontiersman. At various times, he worked as a trapper, a bullwhacker, driving the oxen for wagon trains, Pony Express rider, stagecoach driver, and hunter, but he became famous as a civilian scout for the military. Information about him. Great Buffalo Hunt. Buffalo Bill's legend was born right here, the site of the legendary Buffalo Hunt between Buffalo Bill Cody and Medicine Bill Comstock is just 10 miles west of where you now stand. It was the summer of 1868. Bill Cody had just successfully fulfilled a contract to provide meat for Kansas Pacific Railroad workers. By his own accounting, he had killed 4,280 buffalo in just 8 months. Cody also worked for the Army and was the favorite civilian scout and hunter for the cavalry stationed at Fort Hays. And so there's also information about William Comstock, a descendant of writer James Fenimore Cooper, but was born in Michigan in 1842. And after living for several years among the Arapaho and Cheyenne, he became one of the most noted civilian scouts and interpreters along the Smoky Hill Trail. George Armstrong Custer's 7th U.S. Cavalry called him an eccentric genius. His nickname, Medicine Bill, was supposedly bestowed upon him because of his superstitions. He was killed on August 27, 1868, while carrying a message to a band of Cheyenne Indians. It's interesting information. So up here is there's a little more information, but this is information about this 16-foot tall, 9,000-pound, twice life-size monumental bronze of Buffalo Bill Cody on his horse Brigham in pursuit of a buffalo was created by Western Kansas artists Charlie and Pat Norton. So we'll go up here and look at this bronze statue real quick like this is a cool place in Oakley. Get up here and walk this trail. I've mentioned in several videos about Buffalo Bill Cody being a scout for some scientist, I think, that was from the Smithsonian, I think, if I remember right. But it's mentioned in his autobiography, looking for the bones that the Pawnee talked about, and it was probably here somewhere in Kansas. They don't know the exact location of the bones of giant men, and there was a lot of tribes that had stories and legends of giants. So there it is.